guys, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I decided to bring back a makeup headband just because I really like the way it does get everything off the face. I'm not really sure why I got away from them for a while, but there was one right here from when I did the girls' makeup over the weekend for their cheerleading showcase. It was so minimal. Like, I put on a little concealer, a little powder, blush, mascara, and lipstick. Like, that was it, and suddenly they looked like they were 16 years old. But they did really well. It was a great weekend. And you know what I was thinking before I sat down to shoot this? Like, I was just thinking about how long I've been doing favorites videos. Like, how much of my life, once a month, I've done some kind of favorites thing. Remember when I used to call them shopping list ideas? If you remember that, like, thank you. You've been with me for the long haul. Yeah, I have picked up my little roundup of favorites here. These are the things that I've been loving the most over the course of the past month. And as you can see with my bare face here, I'm going to be applying them full face style. Some months it works out that way where I just feel like everything that I picked as a favorite sort of encompasses every step of the look. So skin is all prepped, and I would really say, and this I think is a back-to-back monthly favorite here, but my favorite coverage thing is really my Kosas Revealer foundation. And now I've tried the new It Cosmetics and I've enjoyed that so much, and there have just been other foundations that I have loved. There are some great coverage products out there these days, but this Revealer Skin Improving Foundation with SPF 25, this is so like power packed. I feel like compared to the It Cosmetics, which again I think is a great product, but this also I feel like carries a ton of skincare benefits, but a little more coverage, and it's just got that kind of X factor, like really good looking skin that it leaves you with. So by the way, what shade am I? Light plus cool 180. So I use maybe a little more than half a pump. What I've realized with this is that it actually doesn't take a full pump, and your staying power and just the overall look on the skin is going to be better with a little bit more minimal amount. And then sometimes I blend this in with my Real Techniques Expert Face brush. Today I'm just using my Beauty Blender, and I really like the coverage. I dig it so much, you know, this kind of medium coverage yet just a really healthy looking skin. And another thing, like, don't you feel like it makes a difference when the tone of your foundation is super on point? Like, when you really nailed the right shade, it can make that finished look on your face seem so satisfying. So I'm just getting this all dabbed in, pressing it into the skin, and look how pretty. Like, I just love it. And you know, I'm a makeup loving girl. I can enjoy a lot of different foundations at one time. That is the case for me right now. I mean, I got back a couple days there using my NARS Soft Matte, which is completely different from this, you know, full coverage matte. I'm like, yeah, I love this stuff too. So I can enjoy quite a few things at once and think a lot of things are good. But I do still feel like this Kosas Revealer is just such a reliable foundation, and it just kind of keeps coming to the top of my list. So I've got that all blended in, and I feel like it leaves the skin looking so pretty. And honestly, like, I enjoy the full Kosas look, so the Revealer Concealer as well, 2.5C for me in this. I think they just work so beautifully together. We're talking just a little dot on the inner part of the eye, a little out here, just my normal concealer zones, y'all. And I end up with a little bit more brightness, you know, a little extra coverage. I feel like the textures of these products just mesh beautifully, but if you don't have this concealer, like an e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer can come in and be really nice with this. What else have I used? The L'Oreal Age Perfect Concealer is great for a little lighter coverage. But look at how great things end up looking once you get all blended in. I guess my word of advice to you is, if you have used the Revealer stuff and you're like, yeah, but my skin just feels too juicy and too tacky after I get it on, I would say just try using less product, because that made a big difference for me early on. I just over applied, and that's fair because, you know, it's often instinct to use the full pump of whatever it is, but a full pump of this is a lot. I'm a normal to dry skin type person, and I feel like half to 2/3 of a pump is ample. And then, as you could see, not too much concealer either, and everything just comes together so well. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use my Cloud Set powder here. This is in Breezy, and I've got to say, the more I've used this, the more I have enjoyed it. It is such a flawless, sneaky powder that takes your under eye and kind of helps the texture a little bit be not quite so dewy, but yet it doesn't fully mattify in as hardcore of a way as some other products might. You know, it doesn't look dry ever. It's sneaky in that way. I remember in my review talking about how I felt like I needed to keep going back and applying a decent amount of this to feel like my under eye was totally set. But with continued use, I'm sort of realizing it's just about perfect, you know? My under eye does still feel hydrated, but yet it doesn't feel sticky at all. So I don't feel like I applied that much this time. Maybe sometimes it varies a little bit on the amount of concealer or the amount of foundation that got on your face at a given time as to how much of this it takes to feel set. But I set T-zone and under eye, and I'm super happy with that. Sometimes I'll also go in with my NYX No Filter powder, which I also love, and just run that all over the face. My bronzer favorite of the month, a total rediscovered pick here with my Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer in What Shady Beaches. Love this one, especially as we start getting into the more, I don't know, outdoorsy months. I love the tone of this, just the small amount that it takes to really get an impact. Doesn't take a long time to build up. I mean, I just love it. I used it in my Vacation Glow video, and it's pretty much been what I've wanted to reach for all the time, unless I'm like testing something new. Yeah, I just adore it. It's a matte bronzer, but look at how it just gives me, I don't know if it's my skin tone, I don't know if it's all credit goes to the bronzer. The combination of my skin tone and this seems like a really realistic tan when it's all said and done. And then I kind of contour with it too. Oh, if you read the info box of my Saturday video and you read about our little incident with Bub sleepwalking to the basement and stuff like that, I haven't had any other weird occurrences. He hasn't sleepwalked again since then. And also I haven't heard any random doors slamming. I mean, it was probably him, and he just did get down there to the basement and fell asleep right away in the chair. He had to have been what caused the door slam. He can start snoring immediately. So anyways, no more funny business around here. So there we are with that bronzer all over, really feeling like, yes, that's a convincing tan. My blush faves would have to be the Wet n Wild Color Icon blushes, just hand in hand with the bronzer. Like, I've really fallen back in love with these. I have Mellow Wine and Pearlescent Pink. And then one day when I was at Walmart, I picked up Nudist Society because I realized, oh, I don't have that one. This one seems like a flakier texture, kicks up a lot of fallout. It has little glitter particles in it, and I'm just not quite as wild about this one, but the Mellow Wine and Pearlescent Pink are absolute gems. And then also a great find this month were my Profusion Blush Hour liquid blushes. Oh, goodness, wind advisory. Mai Tai and Cosmo are probably my faves. Mai Tai is very peachy, but just like the perfect intensity level for an easy application for me. Let me show you what it actually looks like. See, it looks very peachy, almost orangey, but it's really pretty on the cheeks. And then Cosmo is this kind of like dusty reddish color. A little bit of that can go a long way, but it does look beautiful. I like my other shades too, but these have been, I think, the top ones. And once I have some time to like sit down and really compare, I do feel like these are going to turn out to be dupes for some different things. I'm going to use the Mai Tai one today, actually. So just dab a little dot. And then I'm using my Sephora 56 brush. This is just the smaller version of it, that's why it's red. But look at that pigment. And this also doesn't mess up your coverage layers that are on your skin. And it doesn't leave you sticky and tacky. It's like an ideal kind of cream blush formula. But I should say liquid. It's a true liquid, okay? And it's not a liquid that sets or stains too fast. It's just a really, really easy to work with. So this is the shade called Mai Tai. That was my gateway into this whole line. I think I might need a little more on this cheek. We never want a certain cheek to be underserved by the blush, just a little bit more. And the packaging's really cute too, although it's just like the blushes from She Glam. These are just more accessible because, you know, they're at Walmart. I love those sparkly tops. Okay, That's what I'm talking about. There can only be like one highlight favorite. I mean, if we look back over the past month, what have I been reaching for constantly? It's been my True Match Lumi Glow Nude palette in Moon Kissed. This is the kind of thing, I'm just going to warn you, if you buy this and you touch the products, you're going to be like, these feel kind of dry and they don't even look that impressive on my finger. But just trust me, get a little brush like, you know, the Real Techniques setting brush. Go into it, tap a little off, gently blend onto the skin, and you'll see that brightness, just that effortless brightness that sometimes it's hard to even think that it's makeup because it just doesn't, these don't have chunks of shimmer at all. So I'm using that one that appears to be just straight up white today. It actually has like a little bit of a pinky shift when you get it blended in on the cheeks. But I love them all, and then that darkest one can even be like a little crease shade actually for an eyeshadow look. I'm gonna add a little bit of my favorite shade, which is the one next door. That one gives even a little more glow. But I just can't get over that, and this is not new. I mean, this has been sitting in Walmart for God knows how long. And I think there's another shade option too. There's a sun-kissed one, as far as I know. This is moon-kissed. I just love it. It's sneaky, y'all. It gives me actually kind of the takeaway of the look. It's a lot like I've just used a Laura Geller French poodle type idea, but the texture is very different. You know, you put your fingers in that and it's soft, kind of buttery smooth, and these just feel kind of crummy to the touch, but they apply beautifully. Absolutely no complaints. I'm gonna set this. I've been bouncing around a lot on setting this. You know what I think I'm gonna use today? I haven't used my Catrice Prime and Fine Illuminating in a while. I love this one. This is one of those mists where you like shake it up because there is some illuminating particles, but they don't like rest on your hair and your black shirt and look like little specks after you've misted this on. Okay, it's super duper fine, whatever particles are in there, and I think it makes the skin look really nice afterward. For brows, I'm not feeling a real distinct favorite. I'm gonna just use my Give by Gwen Stefani brow pencil here. It's the Hella On Point Ultra Fine Brow Pencil in 4, just because, you know, things have been pretty consistent in my brow world lately. I'm just kind of trying to get to know this new one now, but I have really liked it. It reminds me so much of Brow Wiz. See, just solid, easy brows. Not that you can't find a good brow product at a lower price. You can, but if they were going to create something and have something in their line that was very user-friendly, like, this is it. Oh, by the way, I gave my mom, well, I've given her 2 different new brow things recently. I ordered her just an ABH Brow Wiz in taupe because for her light hair, I thought that would be a really good shade. And I'm not sure she's tried that yet because prior to giving her that, I gave her, I think, 2 different colors of the Benefit Brow Microfilling Pen, which you guys know I love that thing. Like, I'm obsessed with that. And I thought maybe she could get into that as well. And she really likes it, and she's really impressed with how well it stays. But she really likes that, the format of that product too. Oh, speaking of Gwen Stefani, did anyone see over the weekend that she reposted on her Instagram stories my video of her makeup brand and gave me a very nice compliment on there too? And I just thought, that's amazing. Espresso Thick It Stick It from NYX. Any brow gel will do. I don't really even need the added tint here, but I just felt like grabbing it. It does have good hold. And then guys, I feel like this month my eye palette faves are kind of like, they're really basic, real back to basics kind of palettes that I've been reaching for when I'm not like trying something different, or I'm not having a shop my stash moment and pulling out random this or that. You'll see they're very basic. I mean, I've been loving Persona Cosmetics quality. Their palettes cannot miss. Okay, so the Identity 1 and the Identity 2 are both amazing. I would highly recommend them. One is going to take you more your classic everyday neutral route. One is going to be like jewel tone colors, but still some neutral too. So I'll show you both of those. eyeshadows. Okay, this is my identity one. Like, even to supplement a look that I'm doing, I mean, remember when I was working with the IT Cosmetics shadow sticks this past month, and it's like, this would be the thing that comes to mind to kind of help that look out, you know, when I just needed a little extra. But it's beautiful. The textures are 100% great, and this is nothing new. I was late to the party when I discovered this months ago, and it's just really like stayed up there for me, you know. And then this is the Identity 2 if you're into a little more color, and these pretty like rosy shades in here. You've got some green and blue and purple. There's actually a black in that one as well, makes it very versatile. And then the other one that I've been enjoying so much, when I bought the Boise Beauty collab with Doll 10, it came with a Doll Squad eyeshadow palette. And now I've used Doll 10 eyeshadows. It's been, I want to say, a couple years maybe since I've done a devoted video to that brand, and they had some good eyeshadows back then, but these are even like more improved. And this palette is so pretty. I love the bronze and the rose. It reminds me a lot of like a Tarte palette when I glance at this, don't you think? To compare it to the Persona Identity 1 palette, this is a little more rosy with the shades, I feel. And that's what I'm going to use today because I just feel like I've talked about the Persona ones a little bit more, and this is just so pretty. And I thought that collab was so nice. Not available anymore, but like the palette still is, and all the individual pieces of the collab still are. Oh, my eye brushes. I mean, if I could shout out 4 must-have drugstore eye brushes from Profusion, it's the ES2, the one that I always use in the crease to start out. It's like a Sigma E25 type dupe. The one-of-a-kind, really, ES6, this small pointed brush to do the outer corner, do lower lash line. And then from Morphe, my M167, this nice flat brush for packing stuff on, super affordable. And then for packing on in like a little smaller space or inner corner, M709. Look at that little point that it comes to, and much smaller in width compared to that other one. Those are like 4 gems in terms of eye brushes. So coming over here to this palette, I'm going to use this kind of like a rosy beige up at the top. I don't feel like I need to apologize, like, oh, here's a neutral palette that doesn't have like a whole ton of pizzazz, but it's my favorite. Like, I like neutral looks every day, and you can still be an artist with your makeup, and you can still be creative with your makeup and have fun, even though the tones you like are really earthy and muted, perhaps. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes we get in phases where it's like this certain color appeals to you, and then, you know, that kind of comes and goes. And right now I love a good neutral palette. And, you know, most recently I've also been using quite a bit of my Summer Unrated palette from NARS. That's another great one, and their little blush duos, but they're still like pretty new to me. So look at that, just gently blended into the crease. That's a matte. Then maybe I'll go up above that with a little cream. I feel like I can just use the same brush. Matte cream. Beautiful. Now let's deepen up that crease a little bit. I'm going to go down to this shade. It's like a really pretty dusty berry, and I'm adding that. I'm contributing that to the crease. Just back and forth. Doesn't have to be complicated. And these shades just kind of like, I don't know, they practically blend themselves, which is a silly thing to say, but they don't take a lot of work. Bingo, bingo. When I speak of Boise Beauty, by the way, she is on Instagram. She may have a YouTube channel too, but I think her Instagram is her main place to post. I'm doing Dark Plum today, and I'm going to pat this on the outer lid. Look how much, like, kind of what you see is what you get. Intensity comes out of that. But she does kind of like daily stories about her face of the day, or hauls, opening stuff up. General daily makeup chat is what she does on there. And what kind of drew me to her at first was the fact that she looks like she could be one of Tyler's sisters, Bub's sisters. I don't know why I called him Tyler, but she just has like these big eyes and the light hair. Just her whole look looks just like Sarah and Amy and Rachel, I feel like. So she just seems familiar to me, I don't know, in some way that I can't even describe. But also just truly her makeup content, her reviews that she gives, her feedback that she gives on products, it's substantive and honest and real, and I just love her. Okay, so I've got that blended in now. The plum, I first patted it on the lid and then I just went in with this brush and kind of helped it sort of merge in with my crease. Okay, really easy stuff here. We're not doing anything wild and crazy. I'm gonna clean off that brush. I need a sip of my coffee. Thank you, Erica. Love you. Coffee lately has just been my Folgers K-Cups, and I'm still working through my big thing of peppermint mocha creamer. Let's see. What do we want to do to kind of light up the lids? I think I'm going to go to this shade over here. It looks kind of like rose gold, but really light. And this does have just a hint of possible flake to the texture, but not bad. You can see I'm applying it easily with my brush, so that should give you some indication of the fact that it's not too flaky, but it's just a little different from the smoothness I feel in the other shimmers, okay? But it really does pack a shimmer punch that I think is beautiful. So you look at that, just an easy glowing lid. Across the top lash line, I think I'm going to use my Cocoa eyeliner from Doll 10 that was also part of this collab. This is that great design that Smashbox also had, where you twist it and you get a constantly sharpened, like re-pointed tip. And then on my lower lash line, I'm gonna use probably a caviar stick to just kind of give me that smudginess that won't fade or drift away. And drift away. I heard Shelby talking about Coco from Laura Mercier recently on her Instagram. There it is. I've been reaching a lot for my caviar stick in plum as well when I want a quick lower liner, or any of my e.l.f. shadow sticks like that came from the Cookies and Dreams collection or the Mint Melt one. Any kind of deep neutral-ish shadow stick. I can use it here and kind of smudge it out. This Cocoa, yeah, that's going to be really good too. But like I said, I'm going to use my pencil across the top. So easy. And this is just a really super dark brown, okay? Sometimes Bubba wakes up and has to be told that it's still nighttime. And I do think he's dealing with some teething, some molar type stuff going on there maybe. Because he has been more like back to getting drooly again, which feels like, I feel like it's been a long time since I've noticed that with him. Sometimes pencil liners are just not this easy. This one's great. What else have I tried recently that's been good in terms of pencils? The Revlon So Fierce ones are nice. The Persona eyeliner that I have in Plum is a good pencil. I've been playing with my Makeup by Mario ones that have the little brush on the end, and those are cool too. But I tell you, nothing can really compete with the ease of something that's going to come out perfectly pointed every single time you untwist that cap. It doesn't get easier and more precise and more like smooth than that. Cocoa caviar stick. So we're talking like kind of brownish with shimmer. Yeah, this is very much what we want right in here. Oops, I got down a little low. But I found that popping these sticks on the lower lash line and then just kind of running over it with my finger. Here you're kind of removing excess and you're softening it too. And then that just sets and it goes nowhere. And sometimes when you take a shadow to the lower lash line, not that I don't still do that from time to time, but sometimes shadow just doesn't adhere as well there. And you have that drift later in the day. But okay, I'm going to do my lashes. I've had several mascaras that have been great for me lately. Talked about so many different things that are holding the curl well. But in terms of being kind of an all-around great mascara, Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water, I can use that upper and lower and have great curl holding, and then also the no smudging element, you know, on the lower lashes. So if I'm looking for something that can tackle both strips of my lashes very well, this is it. But I still do like my MAC Stack on the upper lashes. The Essence Double Trouble is great. Milani Anti-Gravity has been doing well for me. I've been having a lot of mascara success lately. And by the way, to kind of piggyback on this video, if you want like a bonus round of favorites, and maybe you're new here or maybe you've just kind of been missing some videos, go back to the recent one I did that was the drugstore or cheap beauty game changers video. A lot of things in that kind of qualify as a favorite too. And I talked about shampoo in that, and I talked about foot masks, just some nice various yet random things. Look at this, beautiful. I'm getting back to putting my Grande Lash Serum on. I guess it just took a certain amount of months for the fear to get out of me after I had that red eye. I don't know what caused that, but it's long gone. I probably have half to 2/3 of my Grande Lash Serum left in the tube, and I don't want it to go to waste. So I'm just being cautious and generally doing my skincare not like right before I hop into bed, but a little earlier in the evening, and just making sure I get the bare minimum really across the lash line, so there's no excess, there's nothing possibly seeping into my eye, and then I know before I lay down and, you know, everything's closed up, that has the chance to, I guess, dry. This is such a classic me eyeshadow look. Look at the length, really. I mean, this is before any thickness is really built. You see a lot of length with this mascara. And then lowers. And I do have a false lash that I've been using over and over. And it's the Kiss So Wispy Curated collection that I've been talking about for God knows how many months. But I've been using the 11 style a lot, which is frankly a whole lot like an Ardell Demi Wispy or a Salon Perfect Demi Wispy. I feel like I get along better with the Kiss lashes. I don't know if there's something with their adhesive that holds it onto the packaging that's non-irritating to my eyes, but the Kiss lashes never caused me any like irritation on my lash line. And that is one of my biggest learned tips from about false lashes is when you take them out of the packaging, you make sure you're getting the glue off of the lash that was holding it onto the packaging, because sometimes I kind of figured out that that is what can irritate your lash line. It's not just about the lash glue that you're using. A lot of times that can be fine, although I do try to generally go for the most sensitive thing possible. I'm right now using velour, but I did realize that Esquido is available on the Esquido website. Go figure. I was finding it purely on Amazon, and I thought I even Googled it at one point, and it wasn't coming up like an Esquido specific website, but I bought several tubes of that there. In the meantime, I got this velour glue from Sephora. It dries really quick, it gets tacky very fast, but that's kind of beside the point. I'm just saying, when you're taking lashes out of packaging, do not forget to peel off any glue that was holding them on, because I don't think that's meant to even come in touch with your eyes. It's not eye-friendly stuff. Okay, so just laying these down. These are a really flared out style. Putting them right down on top of that eyeliner. Now I tried to get a little fleck off of this eye, and then I messed with my eyeshadow a little bit, so I'm reapplying just a bit of eyeshadow. You see that lift without a lot of length, without a ton of like hugeness to the lash. It just really thickens up the lash line and gives you that flared out lift at the edge. There we are, both lashes on, and then I just use a little more of whatever the mascara of the day was, just a little bit at the base to get everything kind of cohesive. Lip-wise, y'all, I got a one-step nude lip, and then I've got a three-step nude lip. Okay, I really have turned out to enjoy this Makeup by Mario, the Ultra Suede Cozy Lip Cream in Pinky Brown. This was worn in a recent video, so I'll pop up the picture of it, but I thought it actually looked really good, made a lot of sense with the whole complexion, and wore really well also for not being like a drying, super duper crazy dry down matte lip color. So I give a lot of props to this. This is a comfortable formula and just a really great color. Ooh, I'll also share, this is what's been in my purse for months, this Clinique lipstick in the shade Tickled. It's the Even Better Pop lip color foundation. Was that the name? In 18 Tickled. It's a beautiful like deep dusty rose. I will pop it on just because I can't talk about it and not show it. This is like if I'm caught with nothing on my lips, this is the color I generally always want. So that deep dusty rose kind of lip color, and it's creamy. It's not quite as shiny and like buttery maybe as some of the other lip pop lipsticks that I've tried from Clinique, but it's really nice, and that lives in my purse, and I just thought once and for all I'm going to share it because I've put this on for I don't know how many months, just as kind of an emergency lipstick, you know. And then I want to show you this nude lip combo that was kind of influenced by Emily Gemma. on Instagram. This nude lip looks so good. Okay, she made me want to try one of these new Fenty lipsticks. This is very new. This stuff is so new to the game, but I thought, like, let's just talk about it with this look because I think it's going to look good with the look. It was kind of like love at first sight with this. This is my Fenty lipstick, and I had to watch a whole tutorial on how to load your first lipstick into this, but you twist it and then it pops up and then it comes out. And this shade is called 04 Mother Lover. And it's this beautiful nude shade. So I'm gonna pop this on. You can see how full coverage it is because my lips were just a little rosy from that last thing. And it's a pretty like full coverage, creamy matte lipstick. Like I really love that shade. That shade and that alone could be dynamite. And then you just drop it in and click. It's kind of fun. But then I came into this lip liner. This is my Color Stay, Revlon Color Stay Nude. And it's just the perfect thing to pair with this because it's a little deeper, okay? A little bit deeper. Really gives you a finished look. Going around the outside. Look at this. The ultimate finished looking nude lip. I'll use this. See how it's just slightly deeper? And if you want to just stay in this matte place, you leave it here. But I realized, oh, I do have a Fenty lip gloss that I never used because I always thought these were kind of goopy. It's the shade Fussy, the Gloss Bomb. But then I started thinking, you know, just use the back side of the applicator. This little trough here holds a lot and it can make your lips feel kind of overgooped. But use the back side of it and you never get too much. And then look at how this nude lip absolutely takes off. Look, like, I think it might be the prettiest nude lip I've ever concocted, you know? That shade, the face looks so finished and so complete. I think that's always been maybe a thing that's held me back from nude lips, is the face feeling somehow incomplete when I get done. And I so love being able to pop on a lipstick and feel like, yes, that was the finishing touch everything needed. And sometimes nude lips make me feel like things are lacking, but not this. Is that perfection or what? So it's the Mother Lover lipstick, this liner, and then this gloss. And I will probably be asked for dupes, so I could add those to my to-dupe list, but my goodness, they're comfortable and they actually wear a long time. Of course, this gloss is going to start to wear down like as I drink my coffee and eat something this morning, but I will continue to have some of that lipstick color hanging around for a good chunk of my morning, like into the afternoon even, so that's impressive to me. So thank you guys so much for tuning in for this Get Ready With Me session featuring the favorites. Crazy how that Kosas, even like compared to newer things that I've tried, that Kosas Revealer still is just such a reliable foundation. Reliable is really the word that comes to mind. It always looks good. And I love kind of using the whole package with the concealer and the powder basically. Cannot go wrong with that Wet n Wild bronzer, the powder blushes, my new Profusion liquid blushes, the Doll 10 palette came in huge, and that nude lip I was so excited to share with you guys. Like I would have honestly maybe centered a whole video around that nude lip. Like it's so good. So thank you, my friends. I will talk to you again very soon. I love you. Bye.